We are live. This is a very impromptu live. Where's my camera at? Okay, here we go. This is Nikki with Homeschool Knockouts. What is up, guys? It's been a long time since I've just come on and just chatted with you. Wow. Okay. Stay, camera, stay. Okay. So listen, we've got to talk. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit until more people come in here because I know you guys aren't used to me coming on live early in the morning. It's 11 o'clock over here on West Coast time. But I'm gonna give you a little background before I get into what I'm going to talk about. You saw the title. I wrote I'm a homeschool bust. Okay, we all are homeschool bust, and I'm gonna tell you about that. But first, why I decided to make this video in my car because my kids are in a class right now and it's raining, it's pouring. Why I wanted to make, oh, my face is shiny. Why I wanted to make this video is because two reasons. One, over the weekend, I got this IG email. No, it was through my business account. So it was an email. And it was a long email. It was a mom, and she was real at her wit's end about homeschooling, and not so much like what her kids were doing, because she had some struggles there. It was her environment that was getting her down. And guys, let me just tell you, sometimes when you are on the right path, you are going to be tested and you are going to be tried to see how much you're going to hold to your pathways. And she was. And I got to tell you, so that was the first one. And it was very heartfelt, and it had to do with family. And it reminded me of, you guys know I have another channel called The Messy Homesteader because I homestead. And homesteaders, a number of homesteaders, some might call themselves preppers, self-sufficient movement, whatever you want. But a lot of times those people kind of keep to themselves and don't broadcast it because sometimes they get looks from other people. The same thing in the homeschool community. You start saying you're doing this, you're buying this, you're growing this, and people are like, you're doing too much, you're extra. Why do you want to do that? System is fine. Same thing with people in public school or people in your family when they find out you're homeschooling. So it was along those lines. So it really hit home to me because there's a really big YouTuber. She's a homesteader. She's called Homestead Heart. And she talked about a couple of weeks ago, she received an email from a woman who was having a lot of problems with her family, trying to prepare her family to have food and to have electricity and things like that in case, you know, the grid goes down or there are food shortages, right? So that was the first thing, that the email. The second thing, y'all know that I have this book club, and it's called Books and Peeps, and shameless plug, and we are reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now, we're in our 5th week right now. Now, from this book club, y'all telling me your business, but it's in a good way, because a number of you, from what I'm hearing from the IGs and the emails, you guys are stuck in the starting blocks, okay? And you want to do it, the heart, the spirit is there. You just got people in the ear, or you got wrong information or bad information or insufficient information. So you have analysis paralysis, so you don't go anywhere, okay? So I had someone from my book club, and she's a veteran too. Not a veteran homeschooler, but she's been around for a while, that she was having some doubts. So I'm like, okay, we have to talk about this, because let me tell you how I was a homeschool bust. Let me give you the recent version of my homeschool bust. Y'all remember I kind of stopped doing curriculum reviews and my regular homeschool videos, and then I just went to like maybe once a week, and then I stopped doing homeschool videos and I went to the book club. I was kind of feeling that weight of just overwhelm of trying to do so much for people and not having that reciprocated in my personal life, not with you guys. And for me, when I start to feel, you know, when you're underwater, like when a submarine, or if you dive, when you go underwater, the lower, the deeper you go, the more pressure. This you, the diver. Look, now the rain wants to stop. And here, this is the ocean. And the deeper, here's the water all around you. You're at 10 feet. Now you're down 50 feet. And the water, the pressure is getting, you know, you're starting to feel a little bit of pressure. Now you're at 100 feet. That pressure is starting to wrap around you, all around you. You're at 1,000 feet. That pressure is like, girl, if you don't get out our ocean, the pressure is all like this on you. And then you're at, what, 1,500 feet, which I'm probably being more exaggerated. You are no more. You are just a part of the ocean now. The ocean done took you apart, right? That's how your family, your friends, your environment can be, because you trying to breathe and kick and do what you need to do to be in the ocean. But the more you go down, the more you do, the more you commit yourself, the more that pressure starts to just all over you. Just, it starts to squeeze and knead like bread. And next thing you know, you crack, okay? Those are those two ladies. I could feel they were under that pressure. So we're going to talk about being a homeschool bust, okay? Now, what I have to do, now I've been homeschooling almost darn near 15 years. I have the foresight to kind of see all that pressure coming. And so I have my escape routes and my escape chutes to help me avoid being crushed, okay? And so when I had some, you know, the things with my family and just, you know, my son's in public school, then my other kids are homeschooled, and then what's going on in the world and trying to get my stuff ready and prepared, all this information coming in, most of it not positive. I was like, okay, I feel the pressure. I feel the pressure. Right now, the pressure's right here. This shoulder, hold on. Hold on, let me really get up so y'all can see it. This pressure, I was like this. I was like, uh-oh. Let me try to make some changes so I can get that pressure off this shoulder. And so I backed off of my homeschool videos. And so what I do two things. I moonwalk away, and then I redirect myself elsewhere. And what I did was I redirected myself to things that make me feel good. Okay, I need wins, and that was more homesteading. That's baking bread. That's gardening. That's preserving food. That's being busy with preparing my family in case there is a disaster. That makes me feel good. It also gives me action, because in Atomic Habits, James Clear, the author, talks about being in motion versus being in action. And I see with the ladies that have issues with homeschooling, you're doing a lot of things. You're helping a lot of people. You're giving of yourself. That's motion, because none of that stuff that you're doing where you're in motion is benefiting you. There's no outcome for you except to say, oh, you know, well, she needed me, so I feel good that I helped her out. There's no tangible outcome for you, which is why to avoid being a homeschool bust, you got to be homeschool selfish, baby. I am not kidding. Excuse me. We women, we put so much pressure on ourselves, whether it's, how did you give birth? Are you breastfeeding or not? What preschool? Are you going to do preschool? Are you cloth diapers or, you know, commercial diapers? All that stuff we give to ourselves, we put on ourselves. But if we were just selfish and was like, we do what we need to do. You got to stop telling people your business. You have to stop telling people your business, even your family and your friends, which I know that's hard, right? But listen, I'm going to get back to that in a minute. So these are the, just based on my experiences with homeschooling, consulting, and just life lessons, not just from homeschool, but just from people, from humans, from women. Number one, we feel like an imposter, especially in the homeschool community. We feel like we're not really homeschoolers. We're faking the funk. Maybe someone else is doing it better. As a matter of fact, March is the time when people start feeling bad. They call it homeschool burnout, but I call it homeschool imposter syndrome, because spring break, maybe your friends who are in public school, you're out, so oh, let's go to the park, or let's go to the amusement center or the museum. And so now you're talking to your friends who their kids are in public school, and so you know what you're doing. You're eye hustling and ear hustling at their kids, trying to compare, how does my child stack up to their kids? And ooh, baby, don't do that. Don't do that, because you know what, when you do that and then you start getting in your feelings and feeling bad, that reminds me of now, my parents weren't in the church, but all my friends, they were in the church. So when I would spend the night with them, which was a lot, I was in the church with them. So I saw a lot. And all those pastors and their wives and their families always had the nice patent leather shoes and the pretty dresses and a nice freshly pressed hair. They always had Sunday breakfasts or Sunday dinners. They went on vacation. I thought they had it all. Look, I'm freshman year in college. Two of my girlfriends who I admired them, I'm like, oh, my family sucks. I wish I could be in their family, because I always spent the night with them. Dad stepping out on the mom, chasing skirts. The mama darn near and put them in bankruptcy, trying to emotionally keep it together by buying Louis Vuitton bags and having a boat, and they rarely use the boat to make herself feel good. They falling apart. But friends were like, we can't even really go to college, so we ain't got no money. Mom has spent it all, dad and whatever. But you looking at them thinking, oh, they got it all going on. It's all good. Same thing with those public school kids that you're seeing during spring break or or on the weekends. The finish line is not right now. The finish line is when your children graduate and go off into adulthood. So if you want to compare, if you have to compare, wait and compare when you're on your last breath of life. I'm serious, because it's always going to be something to compare and feel that you come up short, or your children come up short. And believe me, with kids, y'all know, you guys, there's always going to be at least one kid who's going to be the epitome of disappointment for their parents, right? You just, it's unfair on you to compare your kids to other kids, okay? So let's move on. So that imposter syndrome, James Clear talks about that in Atomic Habits. You get that imposter syndrome when you psychologically, mentally, you don't feel it, right? You don't feel it. Now, you could be an athlete and but you're not the best athlete on the team, right? Say you do soccer, you're not the best athlete on the team, but man, you gonna work hard, but you're like, I'm gonna try to be number one. And you have that mindset, okay, I'm gonna get to practice earlier, I'm gonna stay later, I'm gonna do some extra practice on the weekends, I'm gonna watch videos and learn. Next thing you know, you're the best person on the team, but you knew you weren't the best, so you gave yourself the space to get better. Now, the person who is the best on the team, they might not even feel like they're the best. Maybe they are just gifted genetically or athletically, but they don't have that work ethic. They don't know how to have team. They don't know how to lead. So it looks like they're the best and the leader. They won't get far. Coaches don't want to deal with that. They got attitudes. Maybe they're entitled. Little athletes who think they're prima donnas. Coaches don't want to work with that, and they won't. And then they'll look at you because they say, oh, look at that work habit. Look at that work ethic. Look at that value system. All right, maybe they're not the best, but they got potential. Let me bring him along. Now you become the best. But the person who was the best, they probably had that imposter syndrome. Those are the ones who you think have it all together, and then they're still insecure. They have imposter syndrome. So don't feel like, oh, I don't really know anything. I feel like I'm faking the funk. I'm not a real homeschooler. You just put the work in, baby. You put the work in, not motion work. I mean real work. Like, okay, you know what? We got to get this reading together. You baby, we going to get you on this level of reading, whatever that level is, okay? That is my sole focus for this month, okay? And then you research, look at maybe curriculum, talk to some people, and then you cobble together what you think is a plan. It don't have to be the best plan, it could be the wrong plan, but you just start, because you won't know what's what unless you start, right? So don't worry about that imposter syndrome. First, analyze what needs to be done. Is it something that you need to work on with your children? Is it something you need to work on with you? Because your house is a hot doggone mess, and you can't find half the curriculum because you done put it. Child, look, I can tell y'all stories for days. Next thing, you don't have any homeschool friends. Now, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna be frank and I'm gonna be brutally honest. As you move up the food chain in homeschooling, from elementary to middle to high school, is going to get smaller. This has happened to me. Now, I have my day ones. I have 2 of my day ones, okay? It's lonely. Just like people who are very successful, they say it's lonely at the top. It's lonely in the homeschool world. We are a subset of educating our children. We're in that subset group, okay? Now, I'm in the second largest city in the country. I got 2 homeschool friends in real life that I've known since the beginning of my homeschool journey. Like I would let them in my house, because I have other friends, but I'm talking about the diehard friends where they can come in your house and you don't have to worry about them secretly judging you because you left your bra on the banister and your kids got dirty drawers over here and you got dishes and gnats, because you just had that kind of week. Those kind of people. Oh, y'all, I'm streaming on my phone. I'm usually on my laptop, and I didn't see all these comments. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Anya. Hey, Anya. Hey. Oh, y'all, look. I'm old. What does that say? Oh, I love my alley. Hey, girl. Hey, coffee and cream. Comparison is the thief of joy. You better speak that, girl. It is the thief. It is the hamburglar. It is the Houdini. It will snatch it. I'm still longing for a homeschool friend almost after 5 years. It is lonely. Yes, homeschooling is a lonely journey. Now, I'm in this big city, and then within my little city, because I live right outside of LA. Within that little sub-city is a whole bunch of homeschoolers, but I don't gel with all of them, okay? So you go to smaller cities or out in the rural areas, baby, you ain't gonna have nobody out there. I'm just being real. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because when you sugarcoat it, then people start having expectations, and then they feel bad that they're not meeting those expectations because people weren't real in the first place. It's hard. You can have people around you, but you're still going to feel lonely within those people around you if you don't bond with those homeschool people, okay? So what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to, one of 2 things. You're going to have to go online, or you're going to have to get your butt out there and hustle harder to find one sane person. And that person might not be a homeschooler, because at this point, it's about just finding a normal, sane person that you can bond with, and someone who's understanding of your homeschool choice, okay? You can't be, listen, you better stop being picky. Just like I see these young ladies out here, and they want a tall, dark, handsome man who makes over 6 figures, got a great body. I'm like, where you gonna find that at? In my mind, like, I'm not gonna say that to them and break their, their bubble, but I hear them talking. Where are you gonna find that at? And number 1, you're not picking up the slack on your end. And number 2, that's the most competitive kind of man, right? Even the best of the women, the most beautiful, the most successful, would like what you want, right? So you have to work with what you got around here. And you have to have discernment and foresight to see, okay, he might not be much right now, but you know what? He's a good person. He's got a good work ethic. He's an honest person. someone that you could grow with, because you're going to change over time. So when you're looking at homeschool friends, don't just look for tall, dark, and handsome, like the person who's been homeschooling forever. She's got a whole bunch of kids, so she'll know everything. She's got a homeschool room. She's spoken at homeschool conferences, or you're looking for the superstar of homeschoolers. No, Jack. Look at that homeschooler who's struggling to get her kids out the car. She got a baby. She got a baby carrier on. She pulling out the stroller, and she got 2 toddlers already running out toward the park. She might be your friend for life, okay? She trying to get her life together. Y'all both get together and get your lives together. And she might not be a homeschooler, but she might be the best thing for you. So when you're looking for that homeschool friend, I want you to broaden those parameters and just look for a friend, okay? And then, so get that friend in your back pocket. You can always keep looking for homeschool people, but get somebody right now that's good and true and honest, okay? And then rock with that, and then try to add in other people, okay? But I got 1-2. I got a 1-2 punch, and that's it. And, you know, it could be lonely. It can really, really be lonely. And I'm telling you that as a veteran homeschooler. That is probably the biggest my biggest problem with homeschooling is being able to find your tribe. So going back to the online, there are lots of ladies who have Patreons or Facebook groups, or not Yahoo groups. Yeah, but basically Patreon or Facebook groups. There might be more. I would encourage you to just spend, you know, a couple of mornings, so you don't get overwhelmed, looking at the groups and seeing if, you know, the kind of chemistry is what you want, and then make yourself active in those groups so you can find at least one person you can bond with, okay? I know I keep saying I'm going to do a Patreon. I don't know if I'm going to do it, guys. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Just being honest. I don't know. Sometimes I teeter-totter with homeschooling. Like homeschooling has consumed me for about 15 years, and sometimes I want outlets that are not homeschool related. So I don't know. It just depends. That's where I am right now, because, you know, even though my shoulder's not like this, it's bad up here. Bad up here. You know, it's still what, even after all. So for my new homeschoolers, I've been doing this for 200 years. I still make mistakes. I still mess up. I still feel like, dang, this week was a bust. And it was last week. Last week was a bust. But I was fine on my homesteading side. But my kids, you know, I was just like, y'all, stop fighting. They just, the dynamics in your household has nothing to do with you sometimes. It's your kids. They have their own synchronisms and rhythms with each other. And last week was the week where I don't know if it was Mars or that's the god of war. It was, oh my God. I was like, let me go in the yellow book and look up military boarding school. So y'all need to go to, I think this one in San Diego. I'll come visit y'all on the weekends. Anyway, but listen, okay, so look, don't you dare have that imposter syndrome. Which the surest way to cure imposter syndrome is to get going with something. Okay, don't be comparing yourself, because as our beautiful lady, was it Anya? Who was that? Who said comparison is the thief of joy? Wait, am I saying your name right? I love my Ollie. As Ollie says, comparison is the thief of joy. So don't do that. Not having homeschool friends. You're going to have to listen. Remember back in the day before online dating was a thing? You actually had to like go out to places, church, the mall. They had clubs, like real clubs or house parties. You have to be out there physically trying to find a mate. Now you just do it online. Friends. How many of us have them? One, just two. Now you got to go online to get that, and that's okay. So you find, And there are a lot of homeschool groups out there. So take your time and just look through them, or find one of your favorite YouTubers, see if he or she has a community that you can get with. And what time is it? Make sure I don't forget to pick up my kids. Oh, I can't tell what the, let's see, what does my car say? um you just it's gonna be lonely. And just know, there are gonna be phases of your homeschool journey and life where you are going to be lonely, even when you have a lot of people around you. People married forever, they feel lonely in their marriage, they feel lonely in their friendship, they feel lonely at work, at school. There's always that feeling of you don't belong, or you're just kind of different. And you just, people could be nice and polite to you, but you still just don't.
Um, Other issues of being a homeschool bust, you know, life is happening, y'all. A lot of people talking, a lot of people pointing things, shooting things, a lot of things going on around the world, and it's taking a toll. We've been, since what, 2019? It's been one wave of disaster after another wave of disaster. Okay? That takes a toll on people. And the only thing that I can say for how to deal with those circumstances that you have no control over is to build your bubble around yourself and your kids, your family, the family that you like. Okay? And if you don't have them, then just you and your kids, because hopefully you like your kids. Just make that bubble. You're going to have to go through your social media, unsubscribe, change, so you're not getting notifications. You're not getting. Here's the thing: when I go into Facebook, which I never do, like to see friends, I never go on Facebook for that. I haven't done it in about 5 years. But when I go on the Facebook on the marketplace, um, when I click on Facebook, my feed automatically comes up. And I literally, deliberately, on my phone, when I'm pulling up Facebook, I look down at the bottom bar, because that's where I can push the icon for marketplace, just so I don't see what's going on. Now, yesterday, I didn't do that. I was looking for some white Carolina strawberries, some starts, because I think they're dying. And I happened to look up, and lo and behold, one of my friends, who I'm going to call later on today, she has some things going on in her life, and I said, oh my gosh. And of course, 20 minutes reading all the replies, because she put something out very personal. So reading the replies, and, oh my God, I haven't seen this person in a while, and this person in a while, and back away. So I'm like, okay, I just sent a quick message, hey, I'm going to give you a call, and I'm out. And then I had to go back to my original intention, which was to go find me some strawberry starts in the marketplace on Facebook. But you see that? I had to consciously avert my eyes to not see those distractions. So we're always under assault. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe, things like this have affected you or your family, or job situations, because what's going on in the world, things that are happening in the UKR/RUS, what's going on over there. You know, maybe you have children, older children, who are going off, who are being sent off to one of those countries. People got some real issues going on in their lives. Health issues, right? Trying to keep it together so they can stay in their place for another month. People got some real issues out there, and when that's the case, you gotta go smaller, internal, and cut out the people, the social media, and just focus on what's the really most important thing. Okay, got my kids in front of me because I'm with them all day. All right, let's just focus on the things that I feel. Let's focus on the successful things that we can learn, or that they learn, that we can learn together, or that I'm teaching. Start with those wins, okay? There's no sense in going through subjects where there's a lot of contention, and then you got stuff going on in life, and then it's a powder keg in your house every day. Choose one or two things to kind of get you back on course, to help you heal, or just to kind of, you might have to limp your way to the finish line this school year. But you know what? You're going to limp your way to the finish line. Okay, you're not going to just drop out and roll over into the grass. You're going to stay on the track. You're going to get to the finish line by hook or by crook. Okay, I don't care if you're teaching just one subject. I don't care if your kids are just watching documentaries into the rest of the school year. Okay, get your mind right, get your spirit, your heart right. You got to work on that, because if that's not working, you're going to be teaching out of anger. You'll be teaching out of frustration. You'll be teaching out of, I don't want to do this. And let me tell you, your kids are going to pick up on that. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to reflect your sentiment. I don't want to learn this. I hate this. Now it's a loop. Okay? So we're not doing that. Okay? We're not doing that. So the main takeaways, I'm going to make this a hot topic, because I need to come with some real tangible takeaways, some solutions that you can actively do. And so I want to go more into detail. Like, okay, you got this going on, A, B, C. Start with A or C or whatever, but just if that don't work, go to the next one. That don't work, go to the next one. And if that don't work, don't do that. And let's go on to something else, okay? So I want to talk about uh, things we can do to help get our homeschool to the finish line, so we are not homeschool bust. Okay, you can be a homeschool bust. You don't have to finish as a homeschool bust. But in the meantime, before I get out of here, so I can go grab my kids, get you a hobby. Okay, find some kind of hobby. I don't care what it is. Find you a hobby, preferably something that don't cost any money and you can do in the house. Get you a hobby. Okay, rediscover something that you probably did when you were little that you forgot about. Rediscover your childhood, your imagination. Sit still and just think about you. Number 2, be selfish. Be selfish. Don't listen to these cackling hens over here bumping their gums about, they always got something to say about something. Stop opening your mouth and telling people what you're doing, okay? Even if you already told them, stop telling them, stop giving them more ammunition, okay? And you got to be comfortable with saying no. I've done a number of videos on this. You got to get Machiavellian on them, on people around you, to save your sanity so you can get through your homeschool life, okay? It's a long game, y'all. It's a long game. You want to be in this and be mentally healthy? You're going to have to set some parameters with those fools. I'm serious. It's not going to happen overnight. So we got to build your confidence up, build your language up, how you talk, okay? And we're going to talk more about this on Friday. We're going to do a hot topic on Friday, okay? In the meantime, at least today, what you can do, go through and filter out your social media. Start looking at a hobby that you can do, okay? Something for you. Just, I don't care how small it is. Mentally, if you're doing something for you, now you're starting to trick your mind. Okay, I matter, okay? And then things kind of fall into place because you're looking after you, okay? So be selfish, find you a hobby, try to find you some online friends, okay? Maybe I should do a Facebook group. I just hate Facebook because it's such a big brother, but maybe I'm overblowing that. Maybe we should start a Facebook group. But see, I like it to where I gotta talk. I gotta see you and your spirit and feel you and, look and see, okay, her house real clean, her house real messy, No, I'm just kidding. I'm nosy. I like to get intel so I can get more insight into how you think, what makes you tick. So, when I hear you say something or do something, I I have more understanding of where it's coming from. Okay, so but that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna grab my kids. I'm gonna call my girlfriend who needs a phone call. She needs a hug. Call somebody you haven't. Never mind. Hold on. I was gonna say call someone out the blue that you thought or think might be a good friend, like maybe some old school. Call them out the blue. Reconnect. Remember, it's gonna be hard finding homeschool friends, y'all. Stop looking for Brad Pitt and Denzel Washington. You better look for Steve and Tyrell. You better look Brandon. You better look for friends that they just good people, okay? Even if you see things about them that and then get past all these divisions. Well, she belongs to this church or this religion, or she looks like this, or she out in this. No, we can't be picky. Find someone that they just find somebody honest, and that's not they for you. They're for civilization. I know that sounds weird. Just find someone and that's hard because you got to vet them out. So start with who you know. Go way back in the recesses of your mind, back to elementary school, and see if you can reconnect with somebody, okay? Until you can find a homeschool person who can empathize with you for homeschooling. But right now, baby, we ain't got time. It's too much. Who's calling me? Oh, no, that's me. Why did that come up? Okay, anyway, but think outside the box. And listen, that friend, I give you an age range of 10 to 40 years, meaning someone at least 20 to 40 years older than you. That friend might be an old lady in her 60s that you bond with, okay? So don't think it's got to be someone who's got kids your exact age, someone who is in this social economic bracket. Think outside the box. It might be someone of the opposite sex, okay? But they die hard. They really about this life, and sometimes men feel left out because this is a woman dominated field for us. Reach out, carefully. Reach out. But find you that tribe, okay? Now, on Friday, I'm going to come with more details for some of these solutions that I gave you. I'm going to try to come with more solutions because what is this? March, okay, we're going into April, May, then you're going into June. We're starting to go into the hot spot months where things are going to be presented to us in the world. You're going to have to start making a lot of executive decisions. Hold on, y'all. Let me catch up on some of these comments. I keep forgetting I'm on my phone and I don't see all the comments. Okay. I don't. Hey, Love Katash. I don't have a homeschool friend. I tried a co-op, but was asked to leave due to very slight variations on religious beliefs. That actually happened to me, Katash. And it's unfortunate because you could really meet someone that you could gel with, but for that very reason, now a connection can never be made. Remember, I told you that story when I was first homeschooling. I was at a park, and I can tell the woman was trying to vet me out. And when I told her my views on one thing, kind of got the cold shoulder. That's why I said, it's slim pickings, and unfortunately, they are single, narrow-minded, which is actually a blessing in disguise because people now it could be that the people that are already in it, there might be one person who might not really feel that way. They just were able to go under the radar. You got stealth people that are in organizations for the sake of being in it, for community or whatever. It's church. My church growing up, you had a lot of people that they just wanted to go to church to dress up and to go to all the little events that the church hosted and to say they belong to this church. They had nothing to do with that church. They didn't do nothing. They didn't get no tithes. They didn't, they didn't do no contributions. They were not about the church. They just wanted the trappings of the church, but would be open to other things. So, maybe somebody, but then you wouldn't. Usually, when you have those kind of groups, all of their events are very closed, unless it's at a park. Where that woman that I told you about me, she, we were talking by the swings. But yeah, she was brainwashed in that respect. But let me catch up to some of these. Okay, yes, you're saying it right. Okay. That would be great, Nikki. I don't remember what that was for. Thanks for sharing. I came at the right time. Get a hobby. Yes, Erica. I needed to hear all of this. Yes. Do a Zoom. Yes. Okay. I'm going to figure out. See, I have on my StreamYard, my streaming service, when I stream on Thursdays, I can have like 10 people on there. So maybe, so you guys are shy for the book club, but maybe if we just have, I don't know. Let me think about it because we could do a Zoom. We could do a Zoom. I don't have to do it on StreamYard because I know Zoom has more people, but I just know it needs to be something that's regular and um and because we want to be able to start connecting with each other. So, and it's obviously going to be private because we're going to share things. And but let me marinate on that. But I've been thinking about that for a bit. Okay. Jesus Loves You says, I moved to a new area and I'm finding friends through homeschooling events and activities in the community. I don't do Facebook, but where I find that's where I find how to get together. Exactly. So guys, they have a number of homeschool groups will put out what they have going on, like park dates or whatever they have. Say you live in Houston, homeschool Houston groups, and then it's just inch by inch, 1% a day, meaning you're doing actions, okay, not just motions, and look and see, and then request to join that group, and then peek in, and scroll through all those questions and comments and conversations and see if the vibe is something you feel good with. But if it's not, remember, look at the individual. See if you see people who say things that you're like, oh, cool. She sounds like the voice of reason or non-judgmental or really fun. Let me reach out to her. Okay? You don't have to take the whole group. You just poach. Find somebody you like and then reach out to them. Okay? Got to be stealth. My local parks and recs even does a homeschool PE where I have met good people. Yep, get on out there. Agree. It's hard to find like-minded good people, show love anyone, and live peacefully with everyone. I guess I just don't need to be in your inner circle. Yeah, if people want to rock like that, boom, peace. Get out of here because life is too short, time is too short. All right, but guys, I need to go grab. Wait a minute. 7:37. Yeah, I got about 3 minutes. So Friday, we will definitely be having a hot topics, probably 5 o'clock my time, West Coast time. That might be subject to change depending on my son's track meet. So that's tentative. Friday at 5 o'clock, but I will put up a post in my community tab letting you guys know, and I will be putting stuff together so we can really. This is a big issue with a lot of homeschoolers, okay? Because if mama's not happy, trickle down, trickle down, trickle down. House ain't happy, kids ain't happy, husband ain't happy. Okay, so we'll definitely talk about that. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Put a like on this channel, help push this out because this is something. You know what? Maybe I might try to do a collab with some other homeschoolers, YouTubers, just so we can get together and we can share information and community because, we can't be selfish. There's too much abundance in the universe to try to hoard stuff and not be with this person because that does happen, unfortunately, in the YouTube homeschool community. So I don't like that. I kind of keep to myself sometimes because I'm so open, I'm so giving. Y'all know, those of you who DM me, if you send me a very sincere message, I send back like a whole term paper of stuff. Y'all know if you've contacted me, and that takes time. So, and that's energy I have to guard. So I do have to do a better job of reaching out to collaborate with other homeschool YouTubers. And I need to just watch more of their videos to kind of get their vibe. There are a couple of them that, I think I like their heart, their energy. And I think, yeah, I am going to do that. I'm going to reach out to them because I want us to have like a panel, and then everyone can chime in and we can give suggestions and solutions so we can just really build this community up. There's enough of us around. Everybody can eat. Everybody can be successful. All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you Thursday for our book club. We are on Law 4, the last law, make it satisfying. So if you haven't been reading it, come check us out. Just see what it's all about. It is Books and Peeps, our book club. The book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it's a wonderful book. Oh my God. As a matter of fact, y'all, I was up. I was so excited because, my homeschooling stuff. So I was like, you know what? I got to get back into homeschooling. I just feel sluggish, and I don't want to feel like an imposter. I don't want to get out here and make all these videos because I'm not really feeling homeschool right now. So, but I started feeling it like 2 laws ago into the Atomic Habits. That's why I told you guys I'm coming back strong and ballistic like with my homeschool curriculum and everything, because I'm doing the atomic stuff, the Atomic Habits stuff. I'm telling you, don't sleep on that book, guys. Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm gonna adapt that. I'm sure he's trademarked that name. I want to adapt that to homeschooling because they have Atomic Habits for parenting or for business. They need it for homeschooling. So I think I'm going to do that. So anyway, I love you guys. I'll see y'all.
I'll see y'all later on this week. Peace. Let me go pick up my babies. How do I turn this off? I'm on my phone. How do I turn this off?